Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amardeep Mishra and this is a completely new video on how to find out the number of zeros in a given expression. Okay. Now number of zeros means what? The power of 10. Suppose I take a number 23800. Okay. So in this number in total you can see 3 zeros. Okay. So 3 zeros means this can also be written as 238 into 1000. Okay. Or you can write it as 238 into 10 power 3. So number of zeros also give you the power of 10. Okay. Now, by default, in the questions of these type, if they ask you to find out the number of zeros, so by default, you have to find out the number of trailing zeros. Trailing zeros means what? The number of zeros at the end. Whatever zeros are there at the end. Okay. So for example, if let me give you a number 5004000. So if somebody asks you how many zeros are there in this number, so you will say 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in the context of aptitude, if in exam you get to see these type of questions, and if they ask you, tell the number of zeros in the given number, so you have to tell them there are 3 zeros. Why? Because by default, they're asking you to find out the number of trailing zeros, the number of zeros at the end. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Now, I told you that trailing zeros means what? The power of 10. And 10 is the combination of 2 and 5. Okay. You take 1, 2 and you take 1, 5. You multiply them, you will get a 10. So basically, you have to find out the power of 2 and power of 10. Like you have to count the number of 2 and you have to count the number of 5. And that's how you get the power of 10. So suppose I have 2 power 10 into 5 power 8. In this expression, if I ask you, how many trailing zeros are there? So how will you find out? See, here you can see the power of 2 is 10 and the power of 5 is 8. So power of 2 is higher than the power of 5. So what I will do, I will write down the power of 2 as 2 power 8 plus 2 and into 5 power 8. Now this power 8 plus 2, this can further be written as 2 power 8 into 2 square. Like this you can write. And into 5 power 8 you had already with you. Now this 2 power 8 and this 5 power 8, you take them together. If you take them together, so this will come aside. And this 2 power 8 into 5 power 8, because the powers are same, so you can also write it as 2 into 5 whole to the power 8. Sorry, this is 2 square. No? And this 2 square was there already. Now 2 into 5 means what? 10 power 8 into 2 power 3. Means 10 power is what? 8. So you can say that in this expression, in the expression of 2 power 10 into 5 power 8, in these type of, in this expression, you can see here that the power of 10 is what? 8. So the number of trailing zeros will be 8. Okay. So in this, the number of trailing zeros are how many? 8. Now, this is something which I have explained to you so that you can understand all the process, all these steps. But if you get something like this, okay, so whichever power is smaller, here you could see that the power of 5 is smaller. The power of 5 is what? 8. So if you compare the powers of 2 and 5, the power of 5 is smaller. So hence, the power of 10 will be the smaller power. Okay, so here the power of 10 becomes the power of 5. Suppose if I had given you 2 power 48 into 2 power into 5 power 50. So between the power of 2 and the power of 5, which power is smaller? The power of 2 is smaller. So hence in this, you would be getting 10 power 48, the smaller power. Okay, this is something you have to keep in mind. You have no need to, solve all these steps and then get this value. You can use your common sense. Whichever power is smaller will be the power of 10 also. Okay, this is the basic understanding. So we have to count the number of 2, we have to count the number of 5, and hence we can count the power of 10. And power of 10 is what? The number of trailing zeros. This one point you have to keep in mind, that let's say power of 10 is n. So n is the number of number of trailing zeros. Okay, I hope this point is clear. Okay, now understand which type of questions you get to see in the exams. So suppose you have 100 factorial and you have to find out the number of trailing zeros in this number. In 100 factorial, if you expand this, then how many zeros will you get at the end? Okay, these type of questions you get to see. Now understand, here, let me take a smaller number first of all, because if I expand this, it will be very, very huge, very large expression. So let me explain this concept to you by taking a small number. Let me take 10 factorial. Now factorial means what? If you have this sign factorial, this means you have to keep on multiplying until you get 1. Okay, so 10 factorial means what? 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is what we mean by 10 factorial. Okay, we start from 10 and we keep on multiplying until we get 1. Now, we have to find out the number of trailing zeros here. Okay, the question remains the same. We have to find out the number of trailing zeros here. Now, how to find out the number of trailing zeros? You have to count the number of and the number of 5. So if you see here, 10 is what? 2 into 5. So 1, 2 you got here. 8 is what? 8 is 2 cube. 6 is what? 6 is your 2 into 3. 4 is what? 4 is 2 square. And 2 is what? 2 is your 2 power 1. Right? So if you see how many 2's you have? 1, 3, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. 5, 2, 7. 7, 1, 8. So total you have 2 power 8. I mean, how many 2's you have? You have 8 2's. That means 2 power 8. Now, how many 5's you have? 1 5 here and 1 5 here. That means 5 square. Okay, so 2 power 8 and 5 square. So if you see, the power of 5 is smaller. That means from 2 power 8 and 5 power 2, how many power of 10 will you get? You will get 2. 10 power 2. The smaller power is the power of 10. I told you already. So here power of 10 will be what? 2. Okay, now understand. Every time you will not be able to find out the answer like this. Okay, here 10 power is 2 means trailing zeros are how many? 2. Power of 10 is the trailing zeros. But every time you cannot use this method to get the answer, to get the number of trailing zeros. Okay, so there should be some kind of shortcut here. Now, one logic you have to understand, please focus here very carefully, otherwise you will miss on this. See, in any factorial number, the power of 2 will always be more than the power of 5. Okay, in any factorial number, let's say the power of 2 is n and the power of 5 is m. So n value will always be more than m. So hence, deciding number will be what? The deciding number will be m, the power of 5. Power of 5 will be the power of 10, because power of 5 is always smaller in any factorial number. Getting it? So we saved our time. We will not have to find out the power of 2 and 5 both. What we will have to do is we will have to only find out the power of 5. In the factorials, you only have to find out the power of 5. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, so how to find out the power of 5 using the shortcut? So now we'll take the 100 factorial. So here you have to find the power of 5, because power of 5 will be the power of 10, and power of 10 is the number of trailing zeros, right? So 100 will be, how can you find out the power of 5 here? See, you take this 100 and divide this by 5. How much will you get? The quotient value. It will go 20 times. So 20 you write here. Now you take 20 and divide by 5. How much will you get? 4. Okay. Now 4, the moment you take 4 and divide by 5, you get a value which is 0.8, which is less than 1. So the moment you get a value which is less than 1, you will stop there. What is the first quotient? 20. The second quotient, 4. So you add these two quotients. That is 20 plus 4, 24. Now 24 is your answer. Simple. 24 is what? 24 is the power of 5. And the power of 10 will also be 24. Okay. and the number of trailing zeros will also be 24. Okay, so this is how we can find out the number of trailing zeros in any factorial. Now, let me give you one more example. Let's say we have a number 121 factorial. So what we will do to find out the number of trailing zeros, we will find out the power of 5. Now see, power of 5 means 121 by 5. So how much will you get? 5 2s are 10, 5 4s 20, and 24.2. Now, in the next step, when you write here, will you write 24.2? No. You will take only the integer part. In every step, in every quotient, you take the integer part. So 24 and divide by 5. It will be 5 4s are 20 and 4.8. Now take this 4 and divide by 5 again, you will get 0.8. Now this is a value which is less than 1. So you will stop here. Now take only this 24 and 4. 24 and 4, add them, you will get 28. Now this is your answer. This is how we find out the number of trailing zeros in any number, in any given factorial. Okay. I hope this point is clear. Now you can ask me one question. Please listen to me very carefully. Sir, why are you dividing this by 5? Why can't we directly divide this 121 by 10 and get the power of 10? You cannot do so because this rule is applicable only for the prime numbers. Only for prime numbers. Okay. Only for prime numbers. So that is why we are finding out the power of 5. And from the power of 5, we are finding the power of 10. And from the power of 10, the number of trailing zeros. Okay. I hope this is clear. So one question to you, how many trailing zeros are at the end of 1331 factorial? This is one question. And I told you that this rule is applicable for the prime numbers also, means you can find out the power of any prime number using this concept. So I will take up this concept. I mean, how to find out the power of any prime number and how to find out the power of any composite number. Suppose you want to find out the power of 14 in 121 factorial. What is the power of 14? How many 14 are there? So how to find that out? We will discuss that thing in the next video. Okay. So this is for your homework. 1331 factorial. Please tell the number of trailing zeros and please put your answer in the comment box. Okay. Thank you so much for watching it. If you liked the video, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up and share this video with your friends, with those who are preparing for the aptitude test or aptitude rounds. And subscribe to my channel for more such useful videos. Thank you so much for watching.